Hi everyone, it's Danny. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing my study planner setup for 2019 semester 1 for uni. I have a brand new Mumsy Bub Duchess A5TN here that I am going to use for that. I have pretty much planned out what I'm going to do for this coming semester, but first I want to sort of show you what I did for last semester and explain why I am doing something a little different and how this worked for me and how it didn't work for me. So this is what I used last semester. This is a Foxy Fix number 7 Boss Babe Cambridge. I really love Foxy Fix planners. I love the Cambridge leather in particular. It's a beautiful brown. I definitely love this TN. The problem I had was probably with the size. Not that I actually had a problem with the size. This is a really nice size to carry, but it's a little bit too narrow really for note taking. So that's the B6, not the B6, the A5. So many sizes. The A5 next to the number 7, so it's quite a bit longer and it does fit quite larger notebooks. This is a number 7 notebook and this is the A5, so they're quite a bit wider. Okay, so to start with, I have in the front here, this was for semester 2 obviously. So this insert was actually an insert I designed myself, thinking this would work perfectly for me, and it didn't work perfectly, and I'll explain why. But this cover is a printable from Annie Plans Printables that it's actually stuck on there. I printed it out and then stuck it on the front of my insert. So page 1 is an assessment overview. I actually didn't use this very much at all. Obviously I wrote everything out, but then like my grade didn't fill any of that in. I think I filled the first 3 in. The rest I did on Excel on the computer because I like to add up like my weightings and my percentages and see what my yeah, I'm a nerd. What can I say? I like to see what my final percentage is adding up to, and then yeah. Moving on to the weekly, I have just a sort of horizontal week here. Saturday and Sunday are smaller because they don't matter so much obviously in an academic week. And I've just got the week of study, so my semesters run for 17 weeks, and then I have the month up here. This was kind of a bit of a waste of time really, putting in all my lectures because I'm online, so this is when they actually occur, but they don't usually upload until the next day, and sometimes it's days, 3 or 4 days later. It can be really slack. So on this page, I don't know whether you can, you should be able to see that I have weekly goals, and then I have each subject that I was studying that semester, and each box is supposed to be a half an hour time spent. So you're meant to spend 10 hours a week minimum per subject, so that's the expected time. And yeah, as you can see, I mean, obviously I didn't do nothing the first week of biology, so I just didn't really fill that out, I think. Yeah, so and then yeah, I mean, I would have done more than that week, and yeah, nothing. And then as the weeks progress, I filled in all biology nothing. Yeah, so as you can see, nothing that week, and I had a quiz due, so there's no way that I did nothing. I just stopped filling that in, so I'm not doing that this semester. It was a waste of time. And then I have a list and sort of each subject, and you can see I started out well, and I sort of pre-filled a lot of this out before semester started. Still going pretty well. Didn't tick those. Still going pretty well. Didn't tick everything though. Yeah, I mean, no chemistry that week. Yep. And I sort of found this good for, so that was my res school, so I marked out where my res school would be. But then like I haven't ticked anything out that week. I did find this good for writing in like when my quiz was opened and that, but like this week nothing got ticked. And like I've written in what my lectures were, and I remember watching those lectures, so I did them. Yeah, so as you can see, I just stopped putting it in, stopped ticking. And really the insert I'm using this year, I don't know whether it's going to work any better, but it's going to be a bit bigger, and hopefully, I don't know, hopefully it will work a little bit better for me anyway. So definitely was okay with filling out found this useful for my mid-semester break, but like I stopped writing in where my lectures were, and really what I should have probably been doing is scheduling sort of what day I wanted to do the things that are in this to-do list, which I definitely didn't do. No to-do list that week at all. I stopped filling that in completely. Yep, that's just blank. that's just blank. So definitely by the end of semester I was just writing in my due dates, and that was it. And then exams, and then a nice big fat end of semester. So you can tell I was excited about that. Yeah, so didn't work all that well for me. I had to print it myself. I went to a lot of trouble with it and it didn't work perfectly, so I wish I didn't do that. So then in the back here I have my I have some Foxy Fix dashboards in here. I don't know why they're empty, like I never use them, but I have my little exercise books that I took notes in, and they're just a bit too narrow really for what I'm wanting. So I did start out taking some pretty nice notes, but I definitely moved away from using, this is pretty nice, but I tend to, yeah, and then, yeah. So I kind of stopped taking notes in these. Did I use this one at all? No. Wait. There we go. Oh, so that's what I ended up doing. So I moved away from taking notes in my TN, and I just sort of listed the main points that we covered each week. So that was the nervous system week 1. So those are all the main points, and this was for my revision. So when I had to go back and revise before my exam, I knew each main point that was covered under each sort of main subheading. So I found that worked really nicely actually. So I don't even know where my chemistry, I think I pulled that out so I could do revision, but I've lost it. Okay, so moving on, let's set this baby up. So definitely wanted a monthly overview. So that's the main thing that's going to be changing this semester. So I have this monthly insert from Natty Planning. I do tend to put my due dates and things in my normal everyday planner monthly, but it'll be nice to have one that is just purely study and I can really see everything at a glance. So that's going to go in the front. And then I have a weekly, which is pretty much exactly the same as that other one that I showed you. It's just a bit bigger, quite a bit bigger, as you can see. Wider, more orange bright. So my plan for this is I like the dot points, so I will just sort of do the dot points as I need them for each subject. And then I have weeklies over here, so I'm probably going to put like which day lectures come out over here, maybe. And then over here, I will try and plan out each day of what I'm going to do out of my to-do list, so hopefully that will work. There's still going to be weeks where I don't fill it out, I just get busy, but I'm going to try my best. Now, I'm doing 3 subjects, so I have 4 strings, 3 full subjects and 1 left over, so I have too many. I'm probably just going to be naughty and do that and pop it in like that. So just slip one inside the other, mainly because the monthly goes up to July. My semester ends in June anyway. So I have one half the year here, my weekly in the middle, and then the second half of the year. Yeah, so it kind of works. And there's only a little bit of overhang, and that won't even matter when the whole thing's closed. So I'm not too worried about that. Now for notebooks, I picked these up from Kmart the other day. They were $4 each. They are journals. So they have notes across the top, across the front, really. I got one in, I think there were a couple of other colours, but I really like these colours for matching with this tan. I like their plain. They've got sort of a suede feel. They're wrapped in plastic at the moment, but I will take them out. Yeah, so I've got like a sage green, a blush pink, and then a, it's just really the same colour as that Cambridge tan that I showed you just now. So I'm going to unwrap these quickly. I love the smell of a new notebook. I just love the smell of paper. So there they are, all unwrapped. They've got a really nice sort of suede feel to the cover. I really, really like it. Nice and flexible. They're just lined, plain lined, lots of pages, and I do like that there's a little bookmark for sort of what page you're up to. I'm just going to take notes in these, and I'm just going to pop them in like a regular TN insert. So really fat, and it is going to make my TN chunky. I am well aware of how like super chunky it's going to be. It's like it's going to struggle probably, but I don't really care. like I'll take out my books as I need to write in them. I'm not going to write in them in the TN. I just want them all kept together because I lose things like crazy. It's ridiculous how badly I lose things. So I think it'll work just fine. And for when I go to uni, because I'm not actually on campus, I am only on campus for residential school lab activities for a few days at a time. I can just take the one notebook that I need and the rest, and that will be like you know, a reasonably sized TN then. So that's the plan. I'm going to set up now with, I have my date dots from Natty Planning. They come with the undated inserts, which is lovely. So I'm probably going to go through and use these to date all my weeks. I'm going to label down here. You have, I don't know whether you can see from that distance, but bottom of these inserts, you have the week. I'm probably not going to use this scale, but I'll put like week 1, week 2, etc., etc. Go through and do that on my weekly, and I will start marking out due dates in my monthly. So I'm probably just going to use this big pile of skinny washi tapes here. So these are what I'm planning on using to mark out blocks of time. So mainly for things like residential school, mid-semester breaks, exam blocks, things like that. Then I have these page flags from Natty Planning. So these are the small pastel page flags, and I have 2 sheets. I might not need all 2 or both, all 2. I might not need both sheets, but I wanted to have them anyway, and I got them in vinyl so that I can move them around. But mainly I'm going to use these for due dates and things like that on my monthly. So I'll use a colour for each subject, so it's colour coded, and I'll try to match the washi to the page flag that I need. Hopefully this will work well for me this semester. I'll probably now thinking about it, I should have brought some like labels as well in vinyl so that I can write on those and move those around as I needed. I might just use friction pen. I'm not 100% sure. I'm going to go ahead and do this off camera because I've got a lot to put in and kind of want to go sit in bed and do it. But I will come back and show you, like, kind of give you an idea of what I am working with. Hey guys, I'm back. I have spent a couple of days going through and filling out my planners initially for the beginning of semester. So January's been and gone, not interested in that. So in February, my first day of semester is the 25th. So I have written down in my little monthly view sidebar my subjects and their codes and their corresponding little flag I've put there so that I'll remember. I have a key to refer back to if I forget which colour's which. And then I've also started labeling my weeks. So this is week 1. And then week 2, week 3, week 4 and whatnot all the way through to the end of semester. And then important due dates I popped in with the corresponding coloured page flag, and then just a little bow label. So I have a big sheet of these. These are from Natty Planning also. So pretty much I think all the stickers I use are Natty Planning matte vinyl. So I will be able to peel them up and move them if I have to, because we all know how much, well, if you're a student, you know how much professors like to change dates. So if I need to peel this up and move it, I can. So I've also written down, that's my census date, so that's kind of important. Okay, what else? So then for my mid-semester break, I've marked it out with some shiny washi so I know exactly when it is. And then I have another due date there, so different coloured page flag for a different subject. 2 on this day, so I just used 2 flags and 2 labels. You could just use coloured labels for this, but I kind of like the flags. I don't know, it just kind of draws my eye. Anyway, on these 2 days I have residential school, so I go away to uni and sort of do uni full-time job, 9 to 5. So I will be away over those 2 days, and I've used the purple because it's for that purple subject. So that's pretty much it for that. Moving on, some more due dates. And then these shiny ones are my exam block. So again, to catch my eye, and I don't have any tutorials or lectures in this exam block. And then I have another assignment due on the very, very last day of semester for some reason, God knows why. But anyway, that's it for now. I'm obviously going to write in everything else I need as it happens, but this is just day 1 of semester right now, so it's actually Monday. So I'm really pleased I got this all finished, ready to start. And then we have my weekly. So I've gone ahead and written out all my syllabus here. So for each subject I've written in my course code, and then I've written out which lectures and tutorials I'll have that week and what their topic is. And then sort of over here, so this is the day that my hematology module for pathology studies starts, so I've written it there. And then I have a Zoom session on Thursday. I don't think I'm going to be able to attend these, but I've written it, so that's why I've written it up here and not over sort of in the main weekly section, if that makes sense. So I have these 2 weekly boxes, so I sort of thought if there are any little things that these are typically recorded, so I don't necessarily have to attend, so that's kind of not as important, but I'll put sort of really important things over on this side, and this might sort of be sort of things that I want to that I plan to do on those days. So if I do plan to attend this session, I might move it down over here as well. I don't know, but that's just how nothing's set in stone yet, but that's just sort of how I am thinking at this point. So I've gone ahead and put these little stickers are from Peaceful Mind Design. They're just the month, and some of the pages don't have it because I ran out. So I think not all of April has. Yeah, so April's missing one, but I'll just write that in there with some brush pen probably at some point, but I'm not too worried about that. At the moment, I've numbered all my days, all my dates, and I've also numbered my weeks down here. So these are just using the little date dots that come with the Natty Planning undated inserts. And they're vinyl too, so I could move those if I wanted. These little spots, I'm planning on just adding like any overflow. So if I've got some reading assigned, I will add that in. And then probably this one might be for assignments. So if I'm working on an assignment, I'll sort of list out things I want to do that day or that week on that assignment. And then I can sort of like migrate those over to here on specific days that I want to do them. If I make it that far. I don't know whether I'm going to actually like plan that in depth, but I like having lots of space so that I have the option if I want to. So then over here I have another due date. So this is already in my monthly, but I want it both places. Like, you don't want to miss due dates. It's kind of important, right? So I have it doubled up, but that doesn't bother me. I'm using the same page flag system, but I've just sort of put it on the side and then written it horizontally. Okay, and then yep, so that's just more modules when a quiz opens. So just important things like that. I don't necessarily want to put this in my monthly, like quizzes opening, because they're typically open for a couple of weeks. So yeah, I mean, I may put them in there, but at this point I feel like that isn't really necessary. Okay, so here's my mid-semester break. So I've used that same washi, so my brain doesn't get confused, and I've just put it down both sides of the page so I sort of know that's break. Like, obviously I don't have any lectures or tutorials during this time, but I have quizzes due and I have assignments to work on, and this break in particular I will have to be working on my physiology and pharmacology assignments, which are kind of big this semester. So end break, so nothing interesting there. Yep, fair bit going on this week. So I have my res school. I've marked that out again with purple and just written in what it's for. And then I have 2 assignments due this day. So one's due midday, so I'll put that first, and then one's due at 11:55 p.m, so I put that second. No lectures or tutorials again, even though this isn't break. Break is finished this week, but this subject I have this res school, so that's why we have no tutorials. And this one, they fall on public holidays, so I'm pretty sure that Monday is the Easter public holiday, and then the Thursday is the Anzac Day, and those are the days those tutorials are on, so that's why we don't have any this week, which is really good. So basically it gives me an extra, well, this one still has lectures, but it gives me kind of an extra week to work on assessments and stuff, and it's particularly good considering I have this assignment due, which is my my first big assignment for physiology and pharmacology. So there's that, and then straight back into it the week after. More syllabus, quiz opening, more syllabus, so kind of just continues like that. New module starting that week, very exciting, super exciting. And then more due dates, and that's it. So I only make it up to week 13 on this insert. I will need another insert at some point later on, but I'll get that sort of later into the semester. So my semesters are 13 weeks. They are 17 weeks long, so we're up to week 13. Then I'll have week 14, 15, and then 16 and 17 are exam block. So I'll probably only need I'll need another one of these that will take me into the end of semester 1, and then that rest of that one, and then another one of these for semester 2 to finish out the year. So I think 3 of these for the academic year is going to set me just nicely. If you have a normal sort of, what do semesters normally run? 12 weeks, 14 weeks, I don't know. It's usually shorter. My uni does a trimester, so we end up with longer. I don't know how that works, but I am going to be doing semester 3 this year as well. So, but that's only one subject, so I'll probably just keep a very simplified version of this. I might just use my monthly, to be honest, and like a aligned notebook for that. I don't think I'll need to go too crazy with keeping track of everything for that one. So let's pop everything away. I'm going to, so pop that in there, just have that like that, and I'm going to need probably some form of bookmark. So my Mumsy and Bub one, so it's just Mumsy and Bub washi dashboard I made from one of their little cards. I'm going to laminate it at some point, but I haven't got around to that yet, so I'm just going to put that in there. And then my subjects, so I have them sort of kind of color coded. So a green is first. Then pink. These don't necessarily have a center because they're glue bound, so I also don't know how well they're going to hold up to living in here, but we will certainly find out. That's a lot in there. Okay. All right. Well, they're in. I mean, it's squishy, but they're in. Okay, so I want, I have like 2 labels left on that, so I also want my page flags. I should probably get my second sheet of page flags. I don't think I'm going to need the second sheet, but you never know. They can live in front pocket there. I'm not going to decorate. I might see if I can find some sort of inspirational. Okay, so that's a journal card that one of my very best friends gave to me with one of my Essentia orders, and she's written that on there. So there's my name. That's cute. I like that. I think I'll leave that there. I'm not going to decorate. I don't want a bunch of stuff in here. It's already huge, really fat, really fat, but it pretty much fits everything. That one's hanging out slightly, but I have this way more stuff than it should be, so it weighs a ton. So elastics are pulling a little. I should probably loosen them up a bit. I probably won't though. It's coping pretty well. There's a lot in there. Look how stuffed that is. That is a chunky monkey, but everything comes just right to the edge. So if I had this in my handbag, this end notebook would probably get a little bit damaged. It's hanging out just a little bit too much, but I mean, there's a lot in there. It's crazy. And like I said earlier, I'm not going to take this like this anywhere. This is going to live at home, and except for when I go to res school, in which case I'm going to take out the notebooks I don't need and just keep the one that I do need and my calendar. So yeah, how's that? Study planner all ready for the year. I'm pretty excited about that. I want the Sharpie pen and the Sharpie to live, if not, well, I'm just going to stick them in the under the elastic because they're not going to go anywhere. But these are the ones I am going to use. Sharpie pen, not permanent, but I like to write with a fine liner tip black pen. This is my favorite one so far. It doesn't ghost very much. It's nice and smooth. The tip doesn't fray. It's my absolute favorite. I really like the Sharpie pens for note taking. I prefer to write with gel pens in general, but when I'm taking notes, I don't want anything that's going to smear, and these don't smear at all. So then I have the Sharpie fine permanent or ultra fine permanent for writing on the vinyl stickers, because you need a permanent marker. Both black. I like black. I will also be using probably these for my note taking. So these are just like cheap marker pens, the Milan brand from Officeworks, and I like these because they're just normal felt tip markers. They're not like the pastel highlighters or anything that everyone loves, the mild liners, is that what they're called? If I find some of those, I may grab them, but honestly, I'm pretty happy with these. They're very pastel. If you want to do highlighting with them, you can. I mostly don't I don't highlight very much. I try to take pretty succinct notes. Nice sort of pastel colors that aren't too dark, they're not too opaque. They go on nice and smooth. They were really cheap, like super cheap. I can't even, I think they were like a few bucks for all of them. So I did like that, and anything I think is important I sort of will highlight in neon yellow, like normal highlighter color. But these I tend to use for titles and things like that. I'm not necessarily highlighting, more to sort of like accent things. So if I like want to use colored dot points or something like that, I'll use these. If I want to do like a title or a subtitle, I'll use these. So yeah, that's my basic study plan. Pretty simple. Yeah, so I feel like this video was a bit all over the place, but I really hope this helps somebody. This is, like I said, this is not like the best way to study plan. There's probably so many better ways, and it's pretty simple, but this is what I think is going to work best for me. I don't want to spend too much time planning out my study and not actually studying, so I'm hoping this will work pretty well. And yeah, thank you so much for joining me. I really hope I gave you some tips and some ideas, and if you have any ideas for me, please leave them below in the comments, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.